Example number 9. The sum of two numbers is 70. The difference between the numbers is 8. Calculate the two numbers. Right, let's go back to sentence number 1. Keyword, first keyword here is sum, so we're adding two numbers. Okay, you are not told that one number is twice the other number, or one number is exceeds the other number by a certain value. So therefore these two numbers are completely different, but you add them up and it's equal to 70. The difference between them, difference, next keyword, next sentence, so that will be the next equation. The difference between the numbers, that means we're going to subtract them, is 8. Calculate the two numbers. Right, so we assume these numbers are completely different. So let's call the numbers x and y. Okay, so now, first sentence, the sum of two numbers is 70. So we got x plus y is equal to 70. The difference between the numbers is 8. So then x minus y is equal to 8. So what do we have here? Two linear equations. So we need to solve them simultaneously. Two equations, two unknowns. So since both are linear equations, we can use the method of substitution or elimination. If you want to use substitution, then it's either you want to make x the subject or y the subject. Let me choose to make y the subject. So y is equal to 70 minus x, and all I will do is substitute y equal to 70 minus x in equation 2. Remember that you have a negative here, so therefore I have to introduce brackets. What is y? Y is 70 minus x. Remove the brackets, so I got x minus 70 plus x is equal to 8. So therefore x plus x, that will give me 2x is equal to 8 plus 70. So 2x is equal to 78. So therefore x is equal to 78 divided by 2, which is equal to 39. Okay, so x is equal to 39. Take x, substitute back here. Y is equal to 70 minus 39, which is equal to 31. Okay, so now let's check. The sum of two numbers is 70. So let's take these two numbers here. We got 39 plus 31. So 30 and 13 is 60, 9 and 1 is 10, so that will give you 70. The difference between the numbers is 8. So 39 minus 31, let's check. 39 minus 31 is equal to 8, so you know these two are correct. Right. Example number 12. The sum of two numbers is 8. Similar to the previous example, you're adding here. Sum of two numbers is 8. And the sum of their squares is 34. Calculate the two numbers. Alright, so this time I want to call the numbers P and Q. Right, so the first sentence there, the sum of the two numbers is 8. So therefore, P plus Q is equal to 8. That's straightforward. And the sum of their squares is 34. So again, sum of their squares, that means P squared plus Q squared is equal to 34. So now we have a linear and a quadratic. You got a power 2 there. Right, so now what you can do is either make P the subject of the formula or Q the subject of the formula. It doesn't make a difference. let me make P the subject. So P is equal to 8 minus Q, or if you call it X and Y, it's up to you. A and B, I call it P and Q. So P is equal to 8 minus Q. So therefore, I am going to replace P in the second equation. So I know P is equal to 8 minus Q. So now, remember, there are two terms there. Remember, we always go back to our chapter 1 when we dealt with squaring a binomial. So a minus b all squared is the same as a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So here we have 8 squared minus 2 times 8 times q plus q squared. So that's dealing with this part, and then I still have another plus q squared is equal to 34. Alright, so here I got 8 squared, which is 64 minus 16q, and q squared plus q squared will equal to 2q squared is equal to 34. Now I have a quadratic, because you can see this is a quadratic. The highest power here is a 2, so we always make our equation equal to 0. So I got my 2q squared. I'm going to write it from highest power to lowest power. 2q squared minus 16q, and then we got 64 minus 34. That will be minus 30 is equal to 0. Okay, sorry, plus 30, which will equal to 0. Now, can we simplify this further? Yes, we can. This is an equation. So therefore, I can divide by 2. So if I divide by 2, I now have q squared minus 8q plus 15 is equal to 0. So I have my quadratic trinomial, and you should be able to factorize this easily. Okay, so we got a negative negative there, q squared, so that'll be q times q, 15, that'll be 5 and 3. You know it. These two signs must be negative, because a negative times a negative will give you a positive there. Okay, and if you add these two negatives, you will get your negative 8. So now we have q is equal to 5 or q is equal to 3. Okay, so now what else do we need to find? We still need to substitute back. Remember, p was equal to, what was p equal to? Go back. P was equal to 8 minus q. So when q is equal to 5, p is equal to 8 minus 5, which is equal to 3. And then when q is equal to 3, p is equal to 8 minus 3, which is equal to 5. So we got a combination here of, what was it, pq. So we're going here 3, 5 and 5 and 3. If these were two curves, this will be a linear function, this will be a straight line, this will be a circle. These two graphs will intersect, okay, at these 2 points here. Okay, but we are not sketching the graphs here, we are dealing with just two numbers. So therefore, the numbers are, whichever way you look at it, 5 and 3. Check, the sum of the numbers is 8. Okay, so we got, let's do a check here. 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. The sum of their squares, 5 squared plus 3 squared. 5 squared is 25, 3 squared is 9, 25 plus 9 is equal to 34. It works. So therefore the numbers are 5 and 3.